DNA Sports. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about taking a secondary lead and maybe go over a little bit more base running. I think base running is highly overlooked in the game today among the youth, among college. I think if there's a way to improve your game right now, it's definitely in base running. All right, people overlook the difference between first and second in terms of scoring a run, right? When you get to second, what do they say? You're in scoring position. So you should always be doing everything possible to get to second base when you have the advantage. So when we talk about getting the second base or having a good jump, a good read off the ball or a ball in the dirt, that all results of being on the move as the pitch is crossing the plate. So by doing that, that means you're having a great secondary, good timing, and it's aggressive. So you want to anticipate things, just like in the podcast when we always talk about hitting. We're expecting a fastball. Well, right here, you're expecting a line drive up the middle, or you're expecting a ball in the dirt. And by anticipating that, you should be moving and having a lot of momentum towards second base. So now everybody teaches this different. So I'll say that one common factor when you're taking a leadoff is not to get your legs crossed up. So let's say that I'm lazily taking a leadoff. The two things that I could do that are going to really make me get picked off are I'm looking down. They call that a pebble counter because I'm looking down at all the pebbles and I'm not paying attention to the pitcher. So if I'm looking down and I do this and I'm crossing my feet, this is going to get me picked off. So when he goes to throw over and I'm locked up, it's going to be kind of hard to get athletic and get back to the bag. And then secondly, if you're looking down, obviously you're not watching the one guy who could get you out, and that's the pitcher. So everyone teaches it differently. I like to take 2 steps and 2 shuffles and then adjust from there. So if you're slow, you're fast, the pitcher's got good feet, you always adjust from there. But with the 2 steps, shuffle, you have an idea of where you are from the base without having to look back. So I go like this. I never take my eyes off the pitcher. And step, shuffle, and this is a standard lead. Now if I think I'm a little bit faster, I can maybe extend it, or maybe the pitcher's a little bit slow, I can extend it, or maybe he's really good, I can just shorten up. But I know from this distance, I'm 1 step and a dive away from getting back to the bag. Now the second important thing is to take your lead off from the back of the base. And that's on purpose because if you're at the back of the base, you can step and dive into the back of the bag, and that allows you to avoid a tag. So if you're even or in front, you're coming right to the throw. So if it's a good throw, all you got to do is lay a tag on. If you're sliding to the back, it makes him travel a little bit more, and that's just a little bit more of an advantage for you to be safe. So now when I'm in my leadoff, I like to take my lead leg and put it slightly behind my other leg. That allows me to open up so that I'm not blocked up when I go to turn and run. I'm here, and I can go. So now when we talk about taking a secondary, it's got to be aggressive. So you should be sprinting back to the bag every time. And that's because you have such a big secondary that you have to work hard to get back to the bag so the catcher doesn't snap throw you out. So the secondary should look like this. I'm in my leadoff. He begins to pitch. As he's beginning to pitch, I don't go right away. I let him commit to going home. And then that's when I take a really good secondary and I sprint back to the bag. And the reason I have to sprint back is because look how far off the bag I am. This is my secondary. I'm almost to second base by then. So if you're doing a good job at taking an aggressive secondary, on a ball in the dirt, if you're moving as the ball's hitting the dirt, you should take that base no problem. Now if you don't take it on the ball in the dirt, that's a lack of focus, a lack of preparation, or just you not paying attention out on the base path. Right. So now I showed you how to take the secondary and how it needs to be aggressive, but the really key factor in taking a good secondary is your timing. So what I mean by that is that when the pitcher's going home, at the moment he picks his leg up, you don't want to do your secondary. That's too early. If you do your secondary the second he picks his leg up, you're going to be flat-footed by the time the ball's crossing the plate. So if you're flat-footed again, then the secondary was a waste because you don't have any momentum. So you're not going to have any momentum as it's crossing the plate. So if it's in the dirt, you might get thrown out still. But if you're moving as it's crossing the plate, it's like a split decision right there. You take off and you slide in the back of the bag at second. So what you want to do, there's 2 reasons for this. If it's a lefty pitcher, and you start your secondary the moment he picks his leg up, well, he could just pick you off. So that's one reason. And then the second reason is if you let him wait and commit to going home, as he's starting to land, you take your secondary, you'll be moving as the ball's crossing the plate. And then obviously you want to do the same thing with the righty just to have better timing. So I'll demonstrate the wrong way first. I'll take my secondary right when he lifts his leg, and then I'll demonstrate the right way where I let him wait and have better timing. So I'm flat-footed now, ball didn't cross the plate yet. And now keep in mind, I'm always watching his feet. I'm watching both of his feet. I'm watching his back foot, see if he picks off, or I'm watching his front foot to see when he's going to commit to home. It's the only thing you need to worry about. All right, so now here's the correct way. You let him commit to home as his foot's hitting the ground, you take your secondary. So now, I have momentum as it's crossing the plate. Ball in dirt, I go, he catches it clean or he picks it clean, I sprint back. And you should be working hard every time because of how far you are out there. So if you think you're going to take your secondary and do this, well, they're going to catch you sleeping. All right, so I went through a good secondary. This is what happens all the time, and I swear you see it with 10-year-olds, 15-year-olds, with college players. There's not enough aggressiveness, and this is what their secondary looks like. He lifts his leg to pitch, and it looks like this. That is not a winning mentality. So when you're out here, you have to be thinking, everything I do is going to impact the game. So I see a lot of kids jumping up and barely gaining ground towards second, when really they should be low and being aggressive, shooting this way, and then working hard to get back. So too often, again, the wrong way. This is nothing. You can get back easily. But if you're looking at my prints in the sand, I'm all the way out here, and oh, good pitch, get back. That happens. But if you're not prepared on every single pitch, you're not going to be prepared when the ball's hitting the gap. You could score from first on a good secondary if it's hitting the gap well. But if you're lazy, you're only going to get to third base. And what if you get stranded at third and you cost the team a run? So we always got to think about the little things that can really impact the game, right? If it's a 1-0 game, that could be the tying run. So always think about the good secondary every single pitch. Work hard to get out there, work hard to get back.